happening today. A landmark case heads to the Supreme Court, a challenge to Tennessee's ban on gender-affirming medical care for minors. The law is being challenged by 3 families, including one from Nashville with a 15-year-old transgender daughter. They say the law amounts to sex discrimination, violating their 14th Amendment rights. Tennessee's Attorney General says states have a role to protect children and that gender-affirming care can be life-altering as well as risky. However, the High Court rules could have a widespread impact across the country as 26 states have passed bans on gender-affirming care for trans kids. Joining me now to give his insights is NewsNation legal contributor Jesse Weber. Jesse, good morning to you. The big question at play here, of course, is this ruling about to make it easier or harder for kids under the age of 18 to get gender-affirming care? You know, a lot of people out there who say, do what you want, live however you want after you become an adult. How do you think a conservative court is about to see this one?
So a few things here. First of all, I can't downplay the impact of a ruling like this. I think it's going to expand beyond this gender-affirming care issue. I think it could impact access to bathrooms. It could access pronouns, access to school sports. The reason I say that is because this whole case is boiling down to what level of review should a court use to determine whether this Tennessee law or any law is unconstitutional. Now, the Biden administration has jumped into this lawsuit along with the trans youth, the plaintiffs in this case.
Yes,
and what
they brought it, right? Not just jumped in. Didn't they bring the case?
Yes.
Yeah.
And really what they're saying is this is so discriminatory. This is clearly a violation of equal protection. Court, you have to apply a high standard of review. You have to say that this law, that the state of Tennessee has a compelling interest in banning this treatment, and also that this ban is substantially related to what their interest is in protecting trans youth. They say the Tennessee has failed to do that, and therefore this law should fall to the wayside. Tennessee is saying not so fast. We believe, first of all, we're not discriminating based on sex. This is about age, right? This is about trans youth versus a trans adult. And 2, we have a right to determine whether or not this procedure, how it's being used, if it's for gender-affirming care versus something like puberty. And therefore, we need a lower level of review, and it would pass that. So what the Supreme Court could do is, the most simple way is say, this is the level of review that has to be used to review this statute. Take it down to a lower court, they'll apply it, or the Supreme Court could get aggressive and say, this is the standard of review, we're applying it right now, and we think Tennessee's law should either fall to the wayside or we're going to uphold it. And I will tell you what is interesting. Be on the lookout for even some of the conservative justices. Neil Gorsuch once authored a majority opinion about trans rights, I think it was last year, where they said discrimination on homosexuality or transgender rights is necessarily about sex, that this is a form of sex discrimination. So that is a win for the Biden administration and transgender youth. Not saying they're going to do this time, but that's something to look out for.
And also at the end of the day, will this boil down to parental control, parental rights at all? Does that play a role in this?
It does, but the Tennessee is saying even if parents sign off on this, they're not understanding the long-term consequences of this. And I'm sure it's going to come up here that these unfortunately is a situation, they say, where at the moment it seems like it's the right thing to do, but down the line, not only can you have issues of people regretting their decision, but there are health impacts. There's issues with bone density, there's issues with pregnancy, and so they're saying we are trying to step in to protect people from making a decision, even if their parents sign off on it, that could hurt them in the future.
Yeah, well, we're watching the Supreme Court closely today. This could be a pivotal decision. And to your point, it could transcend Tennessee and affect trans people, young and old. Jesse Weber, thank you so much, as always, for your time.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. Also, don't forget to click that red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.